My cheating ex-wife left me for financial freedom, but now she's broke, jobless, and hosting online pyramid schemes. My wife's obsession with the gym is tearing our marriage apart, and it's all wrapped up in this real-life drama we're living through. She's 30 now, and staying in shape has always been important to her. She used to go to the gym regularly back in college, but eventually, life got busy, and she shifted to working out at home or going for runs outside. About a year and a half ago, though, she made an announcement. She was getting back into her gym routine. With a more flexible job, she figured she could make time for it again. At first, it seemed normal enough, but pretty quickly, it got out of hand. What started as a few gym sessions here and there slowly became an everyday thing. Then it was every single morning and every evening. She even signed up for weekend classes. Both days. If she's stressed, she hits the gym. Going through a life crisis? Gym. We have an argument? She bolts to the gym. It's like her go-to solution for everything. The craziest part is, she's 4 months pregnant right now, and honestly, I'm shocked we even had time to make a baby. I get that working out while pregnant is okay, especially since she's been doing it for so long. But the intensity hasn't let up at all. In fact, if she misses even one of her gym sessions, she gets so irritable, like she's going through withdrawal or something. It's bizarre. It's like too much of a good thing has turned bad. When I try to talk to her about it, she gets upset. I've told her I think it's becoming an unhealthy obsession, and that I miss spending time with her, but she just brushes me off. She's built this whole social life at the gym with a bunch of friends, and it feels like she'd rather be with them than with me. I've even suggested we go to the gym together, but she shot that down fast. The gym is my time, she says. Now, this isn't about me being jealous or insecure. I'm not sitting on the couch letting myself go while she's out there getting ripped. I work out too, and I have to stay in shape for my job. But I genuinely think her gym routine has gone way past healthy. It's like she's using it to escape from everything else in her life. Anytime something goes wrong, she runs to the gym for a quick mood boost, but she never really deals with the problem. It's gotten to the point where nothing else gets done at home. I'm the one doing all the chores, and if a meal's going to get cooked, it's on me. How could she help out when she's always at the gym? This version introduces more conversational phrases and a varied sentence structure to create a natural flow. I'm not saying she should handle everything around the house, but at the very least, it should be a shared effort, right? People have even started making comments to me about it. They've noticed she's different lately, always at the gym, and some of her friends and family barely see her anymore. A few have even hinted that she might be having an affair with someone from the gym. Honestly, please tell me this doesn't sound normal to you. But she insists it's all perfectly fine. When I asked for advice, the responses started pouring in. The first person said something that really struck me. They guessed she's overwhelmed by life and uses the gym as her escape. Apparently, it's common for people who need to feel in control to get obsessed with the gym, where everything is structured and manageable. That hit home because, yeah, she's definitely a control freak. And with life being unpredictable, the gym seems like the one place she can control. I replied, yeah, she's constantly stressed, always worried about something. Her job puts her under so much pressure, and she's been on the verge of a full-blown breakdown more than once. In fact, her job was part of the reason she started going to the gym more. It was their suggestion to help her manage the stress. Another person jumped in, look, the affair theory is wild, but what you described sounds more like she's addicted to exercise. They even shared their own experience of spending hours at the gym, running 30 to 40 miles a week, and getting super annoyed if they missed a session. They couldn't relax until they got their workout in. That made sense to me. They suggested my wife might be using the gym as a way to feel in control, especially now that she's pregnant and dealing with all these changes in her body. They compared it to an obsession like OCD, where the more she exercises, the more she needs to feel that high. I couldn't help but wonder if she's pumping iron to prepare for some ultimate baby lift or something. The person also pointed out that with a baby on the way, everything's about to get a lot crazier. Soon enough, we'll both be doing reps of diaper changes and sleepless nights. So, in a way, she's just trying to get in all the gym time she can before everything changes. Update. My wife's gym addiction is getting worse, and it's taking a serious toll on our marriage. I posted not too long ago about her compulsion. She's spending nearly all of her free time there, sometimes even going twice a day. It's gotten to the point where if we have a fight at night, instead of sitting down to talk, she runs off to the gym. That's her go-to escape. And don't get me started on how she's territorial about it. Her gym is her place and my gym is mine. She refuses to switch it up. I've invited her to come work out with me so many times, but she always turns me down. Right now, she's about 18 weeks pregnant with our first baby. She worked out like a machine before, and nothing's changed since getting pregnant. She's still hitting the gym just as hard. Honestly, I never thought for a second she was cheating on me. When people suggested it in the last thread, I actually laughed it off. I mean, it's obvious she's at the gym a lot, her body's in great shape, so she's definitely going there. But after reading all those comments, I started second-guessing myself. Maybe I was being too confident about her fidelity. She always has her phone on her, but one day she left it on the kitchen counter. I felt ridiculous even thinking about it, but curiosity got the better of me, so I did a quick scroll through her texts. There was a conversation with a guy from her gym, someone I recognized. She talks about him all the time, and we even went to a wedding with him and other gym friends last fall. I wasn't too worried at first, but then I started actually reading the messages. And well, I never needed to know what this guy's junk looked like, but thanks to that conversation, now I do. She was only out of the room for a minute, so I had to move fast. My heart was pounding, and the more I read, the angrier I got. When she came back, I asked her, "What the hell is going on with this guy?" Instead of explaining, she started yelling at me for looking through her phone. I told her she's been acting so weird lately, and with the gym obsession, I couldn't help but check. I admitted I felt ashamed for doing it, but I honestly didn't expect to find anything. She kept saying, it's nothing, but it sure didn't look like nothing to me. She seemed pretty interested in this guy's nothing. I demanded to know if she was sleeping with him and for how long. She just kept denying it, saying no. I was so furious, I couldn't stay. Before I stormed out, though, I grabbed her phone and smashed it against the floor. It shattered. She freaked out, calling me every name in the book for breaking her phone, and in a rage, she hit me as hard as she could on my back. I didn't even look back. I just left and went straight to my brother's house. My brother and sister-in-law were shocked when I told them what happened. Funny thing is, my sister-in-law had always said my wife's gym obsession was strange and brought it up constantly. That night, I stayed at their place, but eventually I went back home. When I got there, she was in bed, crying. She couldn't call me or anyone else since her phone was wrecked, and she was definitely laying it on thick. I didn't know what to think at that point. Gotta keep those legs strong for running away from any real confrontation, huh? And yeah, it makes you start to wonder, who's the father of that baby she's carrying? Hate to say it, but it's definitely crossed my mind. Update. I'm not sure if anyone's going to see this on my profile, but I don't feel like making another big post in a subreddit today. Yesterday, my wife asked me to stay home from work so we could talk. She'd spent the whole day in bed, trying to get me to feel sorry for her, but I completely ignored it. I ended up leaving to go to my family's Super Bowl party, even though I wasn't really in the mood. But I also wasn't about to sit at home with her all day. That really got to her. She kept texting me, asking things like, who just leaves like that when something like this is going on? Who's so cold and heartless that they run off to a party? Honestly, I didn't care. Anyway, I stayed home today to talk things out. She was full of tears. The whole, "I'm so sorry" routine. According to her, she really was going to the gym twice a day because she loves it there. It's where all her friends are. It makes her feel good, and it's fun for her. Then she admitted she met this guy at the gym, the one I saw in her texts. Apparently, he's super popular there. Didn't know gyms had popular people, but I guess that's a thing. She said it started with harmless flirting. She swears she didn't mean anything by it at first, but he gave her butterflies, and before she knew it, she was flirting back. She described it like having a crush on someone back in school. Just that giddy feeling every time he messaged her. She was really attracted to him but made it clear to him she was married, and nothing could ever happen. Of course, according to her, he kept flirting anyway, saying things like, "Sure, we won't cross the line." Until they did. She admitted they kissed, said she enjoyed it but knew it was wrong. Apparently, that guilt didn't last long because she slept with him that same night. She described it like falling in love for the first time, saying all she could think about was him. I asked her flat out if she's in love with him, and she just said she doesn't know. Then came the bombshell. When I asked if the baby's mine, she said she thinks so but admitted there's a small chance it could be his. She claims he always used a condom, so she doesn't think the baby's his, but they were definitely sleeping together around the time she got pregnant. As for me, she says she still loves me but can't deny there's this huge spark between them. She's torn. She doesn't know if she loves him, and she's not sure who the father of the baby is. She says she doesn't know why she did it. She has no idea what we should do next. But the real nail in the coffin came when she looked me dead in the eye and asked, "You wouldn't really leave me if it's not your baby, would you?" Can you believe that? She actually had the nerve to ask me that. I told her straight up, "Of course I'm leaving. There's no way I'm raising another man's child." She seemed genuinely shocked. She asked, "Really? After everything we've been through, all the history we have, you wouldn't even consider it?" Couldn't believe it. I told her, "No, I would never consider it." She agreed to get a DNA test, and the crazy part is, she cheerfully agreed like I'm supposed to feel bad for her or something. I honestly don't know who this woman is anymore. She cried the whole time, but they weren't tears of shame or remorse. No, those tears were for herself, meant to make me feel guilty. For what? For breaking her heart? Please. Now it's time to see what the community has to say. One person put it pretty bluntly. The good news is, she's given you all the information you need to make the right decision. All those extra details? Exactly what was needed to make it crystal clear that you cannot stay with her another second. Even if the child is yours, staying married to her is out of the question. Plenty of people co-parent, and that's a way better option than sticking with someone like her. It's definitely painful, but she's taken away any uncertainty. You know what needs to be done, you just have to do it. And no, it won't be easy. It'll probably be the hardest thing you've ever faced, but it's the right thing to do. Honestly, they're right. She's wrecked my life, but right now I just feel numb. It's like I don't even have the energy to process it all. The affair alone would have been devastating, but she didn't stop when she found out she was pregnant. If it weren't for this baby, I could have walked away clean. Maybe I still can. I won't know until I get the DNA test results. She's almost certain the baby's mine, so it looks like I'm stuck dealing with her forever. My child is going to grow up with divorced parents, and their mom will be the gym bike, the one everyone's had a ride on. Maybe she'll even pack up and move closer to her family, taking my kid with her. But hey, she'll still need to be near the guy who gives her butterflies and screws her in the gym locker room, right? The thrill, the excitement. How could she ever resist that? She's ruined fatherhood for me no matter what. Whether this kid is mine or not, I feel like I've lost everything. If by some miracle, this isn't my baby and I can finally walk away, how will I ever trust again? How will I not carry this bitterness with me for the rest of my life? I used to think about the day when I'd start a family and how amazing it would be. When she told me we were having a baby, I was beyond happy. Even though we hadn't planned for it, I was genuinely excited. We had names picked out, I've been there every step of the way, and now she does this to me. Not just to me, but to this poor kid, to whoever their father turns out to be. It's a complete mess. Someone replied, "Yikes, OP. I'm so sorry. Take some time to process this circus of events. It's like a twisted game of guess who's the daddy? You've been dealt a rough hand, for sure. She's not sorry she's been cheating. She's just sorry she got caught. It's all fun and games until you end up pregnant by the guy you're cheating with. Let's be real. She wasn't ever planning to tell you this baby might not be yours. She just didn't want to be pregnant and alone." Update. My wife is officially moving in with her affair partner. Apparently, they're in love. My life has basically turned into a trashy daytime talk show. The woman I once thought was classy, who I called my wife, has now turned into total trailer trash. Today, she told me she's moving in with the guy from the gym. She's pregnant, it could be his kid, could be mine, but she's too embarrassed to even get a blood test for the paternity. For about a week, she was trying to get my attention, trying to talk to me, trying to get me to beg her to stay. I didn't fall for any of it. I've been mostly ignoring her, and when we do have to talk, I keep it short and to the point. We're still living under the same roof, but I've moved into a different room, and I've been doing everything separately from her. She even tried to get a gold star for not going to the gym for 5 days straight, like that was supposed to impress me. Didn't work. Today, she sent me a text saying she's moving in with him. As messed up as it is, I still care about her in some way. I mean, I've already met with a lawyer, so I'm not hanging on to the marriage, but I guess I still care about her as a person, especially if she ends up being the mother of my child. Still, it stung when she told me she was leaving to be with him. I tried to tell her this wasn't a smart move. I even suggested she meet with a lawyer herself. But she doesn't care about anything I have to say anymore. I don't even think she needs to move in with him. Honestly, I feel bad for her, that she can't just be on her own for a while. I asked her if this guy even knows she's pregnant and wondered what story she's been telling him. She said, "He knows, and he doesn't care if it's your baby. He loves me and wants to be with me." I couldn't help but think, what kind of person does that? You can't find someone who isn't a married pregnant woman? Why would anyone take on that kind of baggage? None of this makes any sense to me. The guy's scum, no doubt, but apparently he's good-looking scum who has a steady job and owns his own home. So, you can't tell me that my married, pregnant wife is really the best option he's got. I just can't imagine being a single guy with that kind of setup and choosing to take on this level of baggage. If it turns out the baby is mine, what happens then? My kid will be living half the time with her and this weasel? I have no idea how my life got so messed up, and meanwhile, she's acting like the most embarrassing thing about this whole situation is getting a blood test. Update. My wife has finally agreed to a paternity test. She moved in with her affair partner last weekend, but she didn't take much. Most of her stuff is still here at the house. Honestly, it feels like she's just waiting for me to beg her to come back. But I haven't reached out to her once since she left. I'm in this weird mix of emotions. Relief, anger, and sadness all wrapped together. I don't think I even ate until last night because I just never felt hungry. I've had a few too many drinks, but I'm getting by. I'm posting this update because I've been flooded with messages, and it's been emotionally draining to respond to everyone. Typing out the same stuff over and over again is exhausting. Truthfully, I just don't want to talk about her that much anymore. This morning, she texted me saying her affair partner wants a DNA test done, so she's finally agreed to it. Funny how it didn't matter when I wanted one, but now that he's asked, she's all for it. She even asked if I wanted to submit a sample too, because apparently, it's cheaper to test 2 dads as part of one package. I'm beyond caring about the cost. I just want the truth. The good thing is, I won't have to see or interact with either of them. I'll just make my own appointment with the lab to get my cheek swabbed. I'm going in this Saturday, and we should have the results within a week. Honestly, I'll take whatever answers I can get at this point. Anything is better than dragging this out for another 20 weeks. So that's it. I'm getting by, going to work, trying to function, but I feel like I'm stuck in limbo. As much as I hate it, I miss her. I hate that she's over there with him. It makes me sick. A part of me even wants to beg her to come home, but I won't let myself go there. And it'll only get worse if I find out it's my baby and she's still living with him. Unless he dumps her after the news, I can't imagine how I'll handle that. But no matter what, I won't beg her. I'm not going to play any of those games. The community chimed in again. Someone said, "So, her affair partner wants the DNA test now?" I guarantee you that he agreed to move her in only if he finds out the baby isn't yours. She's only in this relationship with him because she told him he was the dad. But now, after she's moved in and they've actually had some real conversations, beyond their quick locker room hookups, he's realized there's a chance the baby could be mine. That's why he suddenly wants a DNA test. He's covering his bases before committing to anything else. I can almost guarantee that if the test shows I'm the father, he'll kick her to the curb faster than you can blink. If I were in your shoes, I'd have the divorce papers filed already and would have changed the locks the moment she left. She moved out on her own, so this house is no longer her home. Even if the divorce isn't finalized before the baby comes, you can still push through nearly the entire process before then. And as much as you may not want to, she needs to tell her parents what's really going on. That she's moved in with her new boyfriend/baby daddy. If they want to reach her, they can call her at his place, not yours. OP replies, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what's happening. If the baby's mine and he kicks her out, then what? I know I'll end up letting her come back here, not to stay married, but I can't let her be homeless if she's carrying my child. I'm trying not to get wrapped up in all the what-ifs and just take things day by day. But man, that's easier said than done. It's wild to think I was still living with her up until she left. Seriously though, my wife's sudden relocation to her love shack with her gym buddy feels like something out of a reality TV show. I've got to give myself some credit for staying cool while sharing a roof with her, knowing what she was doing behind my back. It was like starring in my own episode of Living with the Enemy. But now that she's finally flown the coop, I can reclaim my space, and maybe some sanity too. I guess I'm stuck in this limbo until the DNA test results come back. It's not just me, though. Her affair partner is in the same boat. He's playing along, taking care of her for now, but only until he knows for sure if it's his kid or not. I bet he won't hesitate to cut her loose either way, once he knows the truth. Final update. Here's the latest on my wife's affair and her pregnancy. This got deleted from the Surviving Infidelity subreddit, probably because I mentioned wanting to punch someone. So, to recap, my wife has been having an affair with a guy from the gym for close to a year. She's about 22 weeks pregnant now, and I found out about the cheating when she was around 17 weeks. She's been insisting from the start that she's sure I'm the father, but for a long time, she refused to get a paternity test to ease my mind. Well, we finally did the test, and at the request of her affair partner, we finally got the paternity test done, and it turns out the baby is mine. I've been on an emotional roller coaster ever since. I thought I wanted nothing to do with her, and that I'd be relieved not to have any permanent ties in the form of a whole human being. But when the results came in, I was surprisingly relieved. I mean, I'd already wrapped my head around the idea of becoming a dad months before I even found out she was cheating. But then there are these moments where I stop and think, how is this my life? This is the situation my kid is going to be born into, and I hate her for it. She's still living with him, by the way, while all her stuff is still here at our house. I'm not about to do the work of packing up her things for her, though. She doesn't seem to care about getting any of it except the essentials anyway. After we got the news that I'm the father, she had the nerve to text me, saying she's glad the baby's mine and that she knows I'll be a great dad. Then last night she started texting me baby name ideas. She's tried calling a few times too, but I just ignore them. I only talk to her through text. This morning, she asked if she could come by and pick up a few things. I said it was fine. My lawyer advised me not to block her from coming into the house, but I made it very clear that he wasn't welcome. So, of course, who shows up at my front door with her? The scumbag boyfriend. He just walks right in behind her like it's no big deal. She ran upstairs to grab what she needed, leaving me standing there in the living room with him. And this guy, he actually has the nerve to try and talk to me. He said it wasn't her fault he was there, that she told him I didn't want him to come, but he insisted on tagging along. Supposedly, he wanted to talk to me. He said he understands how I must be feeling and wanted to apologize. No, he doesn't. Then he had the audacity to tell me he knew from the start he probably wasn't the father, but he genuinely loves her and accepts the situation. He said he's not trying to replace me as the baby's father and that he hopes we can all get along since we're both going to be in her life now. Oh, and he also assured me that he's looking after her. Like I needed to hear that. I stared him down and said, I can't for the life of me figure out what you want with a pregnant woman carrying another man's child. It's weird. Then I told him if he didn't get out of my house, I'd punch him in the face. After that, I went upstairs, where she was rummaging around in the bathroom for her stuff. I asked her, why the hell did you bring him? I told her it's bizarre that he's still hanging around now that he knows the baby isn't his, and that I'm not about to let him be involved in my child's life. She said he talked her into coming, and she's sorry, as if that fixes anything. She went on about how she never meant for any of this to happen. But here we are, and she's in love with him now. Apparently, he is what 30-year-old her is looking for, not me. She's setting up a nursery at his house, and I can do the same at mine. Oh, and don't worry. She has no intention of fighting for full custody or trying to keep me from being involved in our child's life. How generous of her. After that, she headed back downstairs, and I followed her. The guy was still standing there, just hanging out in my living room like he belonged. That was the last straw. I walked right up to him and punched him. He stumbled back and crashed into the table. She screamed, "What the hell?" and ran over to check on him. But honestly, I didn't care. What's he going to do? Call the cops. He deserved it, and none of that would have happened if he just left like I told him to. A few hours later, she texted me saying she was sorry about what happened today. According to her, he really meant what he said, and that he's actually a good guy who cares about her, and, get this, respects me. Seriously? He respects me? The same guy who was screwing my wife in the gym locker room? Couldn't believe it. I replied, "You can't be serious." She responded with, "Fine, I'm trying to have a mature conversation about this. I can't help that we fell in love. Believe it or not, I'm not trying to hurt you, and I want this to be amicable." Amicable? The guy stole my wife and now he's stealing my kid, too. Sure, biologically I'm the father, but they're over there, setting up a nursery together in his house like it's a perfect little family. I've been trying to keep it together, telling myself he's just the trash man who picked up what I threw away. Sometimes I even believe that, but the truth is, I loved her. Still love her. I don't want to stay married to her out of sheer principle, but this whole thing is absolutely devastating. And there you have it, the paternity test results are in, and drumroll, please. I'm the father. Don't even get me started on the nerve she had to bring her side piece into my house like it was some kind of casual meet and greet. Talk about adding insult to injury. Everything that came out of his mouth is complete BS. And it's clear he's not the stand-up guy he's pretending to be. I feel like I've got a long, hard road ahead of me. The last thing you want is to go through this kind of mess without a skilled legal expert backing you up. Do yourself a favor, make that call and bring in the heavy hitters. Trust me, you'll be grateful later when you're not buried in legal paperwork and second-guessing your decisions. What would you do in a situation like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Catch you soon.